down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. You don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Slow, where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me.
JSGC here, and we are here for our final live watch-along of the season. And all of a sudden, things just come to an end like that. So I firstly want to quote The Mask, which is a brilliant film with Jim Carrey. If you've never seen it, turn me off, go and check it out, because it's absolutely brilliant. To quote what Jim Carrey said as The Mask, "Did you miss me?" A lot has happened. A lot has happened since we last tuned in for you guys. A lot has happened. I can see all the score predictions coming in. And I know when I first came on and I spoke to you guys doing my video, and I said to you guys that I'm not going to watch the Champions League final. I'm not in a position to watch the Champions League final. I'm not going to be able to watch it, and because of that, I'm going to try and keep it a secret and keep it, try and keep it a surprise so I can give you my raw, natural reaction for you guys. And unfortunately, for everybody watching, that they're not going to be able to see the authentic JSGC reaction, because fortunately JSGC was in a position to be able to check out the Champions League final. I was able to watch and see that everything would happen, and I am very happy that I got to witness history. Manchester City winning the treble is a big deal. Manchester City winning the Champions League is a big deal, a very big deal. I don't think enough has been made about what Manchester City have achieved, in my complete and honest opinion. And I think Manchester City have shown, because if you think back to just before the World Cup, we lost to Brentford, people were losing the plot. You think we lost at Spurs, the charges came in from the Premier League, and we hit a low point in the season. And if I was to say to you back then in February that Manchester City go on to replicate what Manchester United managed to achieve in 1999 and win the treble, the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Champions League, you guys would all have laughed at me. Yeah, that's what Manchester City have managed to achieve. Only the second team ever to be able to do that. And that, to me, deserves celebration. And that is what we're here to do today. I'm going to watch the game along with you guys. We know what's coming. We're going to have a good time. I can give you all my thoughts, things that I was thinking when I was over in Iceland for my honeymoon watching the game. And I've got a good chance here for a second chance to have a watch of the game, to maybe pick up on some bits and bobs that I didn't manage to pick up on from then. So that is the aim here. And as I said, final watch along of the season. So it's going to be special. It's going to be a celebration. Manchester City win the Champions League. Rodri wins it for Manchester City in the second half. We know what's coming, but we're going to celebrate. We're going to have fun, regardless of what does happen. So first and foremost, you know the rules. 100 likes is what we're aiming for. 53 likes away, so any help towards that would be much appreciated. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. JSGC does need to change over his live subscribe account, so I'm just going to do that one right now. But yeah, if you are new around here and you haven't already, then please do subscribe. That would be much appreciated. We do have daily Manchester City transfer updates coming from tomorrow. Got a match review coming up after I've done this watch along to give my thoughts from this game. I've got a season review coming up. We've got so much Manchester City content for you guys to look forward to. So do subscribe if you haven't already. Do go and check out today's video sponsor, BetMate. They did run a pot for the Champions League final, which obviously you can't go and do. But you can go and check out BetMate. The app is free to download. The link is in the description and also in the live chat if you want to go and download that. That would be much appreciated. They are running pots for the international games currently taking place. So if that is something of interest to you, then do go and check them out. They've sponsored every single preview for me this season. They've sponsored my last fair few watch-alongs as well, so that would be much appreciated. What else are we missing? Like the video, subscribe, sponsors in. There we go, pretty much it, really. Let me know where you're tuning in from. That would be much appreciated. Score predictions, get them in the live chat. I imagine there's going to be a lot of 1-0s in there. And let's have a look who is tuning in. Andy, thanks very much for tuning in. Julia, thanks for tuning in as well. Cristiano, thanks for tuning in. Charlie, yes, a watch-along. Not had a chance, and I wanted to have closure for the season. And I want to do a live watch-along of Manchester City's biggest ever success that we have had, in my opinion. I feel like it's just deserves to have that, and so I want to be able to give my reaction and my thoughts to that. So yeah, we are doing a little live watch along, as the title suggests, better late than never, as I was and have been away. I only just got back today, Did originally have this scheduled for 3 p.m. BST. Bit unlikely to happen, but, you know, an hour and a half later, we have managed to make it happen. Me Snake, thanks for tuning in. Mixed as well. John, thanks for tuning in. FPL, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. All the regulars in, it's what we like to see. Roblox, thanks for tuning in. Indranil, thanks for tuning in. Dudley as well, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. So, I've got the I've got the game up live on my phone right here, which I just keep browsing onto. We've just had the Champions League anthem. It was performed on the piano. I've watched the pre-game show, which I'll give my thoughts on that first and foremost. Not a big fan of these pre-game shows. This isn't the United States of America. This isn't the Super Bowl. This isn't how we do football in Europe. And to me, not keen. Let me know your thoughts. That'd be much appreciated. So, Manchester City for this game against Inter Milan, lining up with Ederson in goal. It's a back three made up of Akanji, Ruben Dias and Nathan Ake. Rodri and Stone starting in midfield. Up forward in front of them is Gundogan and De Bruyne. Bernardo starts on the right wing. Jack Grealish on the left wing. And starting up top is Erling Haaland. Could well be the last time we see Kyle Walker in a Manchester City shirt. We'll speak more about that as we go through the live watch along. That makes me sad, very sad. And he's not even starting in this game, which apparently Kyle Walker wasn't too happy about. Kipax, thanks for tuning in. Daniel, thanks for tuning in. DJ, thanks for tuning in as well. Certainly did. Treble winners. Got the job done. Inter Milan starting 11 for this game. They went with Onana in goal, Darmian, Kirby and Bastoni. Midfield made up of Brozovic, Calhanoglu. Is it? I'll just wait for them to pop the team up. And Barella. It's Dumfries and DiMarco starting on each as wing back, starting on each wing, and Lautaro Martinez starting up top alongside Edin Dzeko, former Manchester City man. And could well be the last game for Edin Dzeko at Inter Milan as well. He's set to make a move, ironically, to Turkey, to Istanbul, to Fenerbahce. Interestingly, maybe Edin enjoyed his time in Istanbul and thought, you know what, quite like this climate. Fancy a move for this one. Fancy going there. So, a bit of a shambles at the Ataturk Stadium for the fans. Everyone that was feeding back, the 20,000 plus City fans that travelled to Turkey for this game. Big problems with how far away the stadium was from the city. Apparently, pre-build-up, the Friday night was something special in Istanbul, but gets closer to the game, and all of a sudden, people were struggling to get in and around the ground, is what did happen, unfortunately. People have asked UEFA for a comment, and not really heard anything, saying no comment. Typical UEFA, as we do have kickoff for this game. So Inter Milan attacking from left to right, Manchester City attacking from right to left. Inter Milan playing today in their home shirts of navy blue and black stripes. Manchester City playing in their home shirt. The final time we'll see the 2022-2023 shirts. We've already seen or teased in the Brentford game when we went with our home shirt for the upcoming season. And we'll have a shirt review out soon for you guys as well. Got that sorted whilst we've been away. So Inter Milan, they're coming forward. And Edin Dzeko takes a horrible touch and goes out of play for a goal kick to Manchester City. Roblox, am I looking forward to Kalvin Phillips' interview? Of course I am. I look forward to it every year. I'm looking forward to seeing what he made of the treble. It'd be so interesting because City have always strived for perfection. They've strived for the Champions League. So it'll be really interesting from the European point of view and from the treble point of view about what Kalvin has made of that and what Manchester City's plan of action is going forward past that, because we're seeing quite a few senior first-team players for City now being linked with the exit door. It could be a case of maybe 3, 4, 5, even 6 first-team players leaving Manchester City. And if that is the case, we're in for a big summer. Some people have been suggesting a potential transition for Manchester City, a transition season, which to me, after winning the treble, you shouldn't be going on to have a transition season the season after. But there's a few players out there who will have wanted to win the Champions League, and they'll consider that objective done at Manchester City. And I presume with Kyle Walker, he's got a season left at City. I presume that's why he wants to leave Manchester City, to seek a fresh challenge. He's been there, done that, worn the t-shirt. He's one of the most senior, one of the most experienced players that Manchester City have got. And he's achieved everything at Manchester City. He is a brilliant, in my opinion, the best right back we've ever had at City. And I include Pablo Zabaleta on that. Zabaleta is an outstanding player for Manchester City. Love him to bits. But Kyle Walker helped take us to the next level as Erling Haaland has the first shot of the game. The offside flag does go up. City just poking and finding them spaces and finding them very well. But yeah, I can see Kyle Walker leaving Manchester City. I don't think he'll be the first. I don't think he'll be the last of the first team players out the door. I'm not sure about Gundogan, but I can see one of Gundogan or Bernardo leaving, which means they're going to need to be replaced. I can see Laporte leaving, Cancelo leaving. So these players are going to need to be replaced by Manchester City. City are going to need to get the thinking caps on in the transfer market. I know we're closing in on Kovacic, and Manchester City looking to try and bring in Joshka Gvardiol as well. But it'll be interesting to see with players leaving who City do choose to add to their team. Jack Grealish has taken all the headlines, hasn't he? Since Manchester City won the treble with his party antics. I don't think he slept for about 48 hours. He literally had his Manchester City kit on from the full-time whistle. And then he was pictured in Manchester, arriving back off the plane with his Manchester City kit still on. And he went to Ibiza in the middle of all that to have a one-night party in his Manchester City kit to turn up to the parade. And he's rating a girl. He was on top of the bus, pointing at someone. Someone posted it on TikTok. Pointing at him, going, "Perfect." That's Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish is a character, certainly a character. We knew that when we signed him. And as Julia says, not too happy Gareth Southgate with that. And I think that's just Gareth Southgate's going to have to deal with that. So it's a part and parcel. You've got players who have just won the treble who want to go out there and, in my opinion, rightfully go and celebrate that. So we're building up here to a very big moment in this game. So Rodri's attacking on the left-hand side. He works it to Jack Grealish through the centre. Manchester City attacking them through the middle through Gundogan. Johnny Stones works it out wide to Bernardo Silva. Now he's up against DiMarco here. Takes it right to the byline. Turns back onto his left foot and has a shot. And it goes just wide. So lots of people have been rating the performance of DiMarco. And I thought he had a very good game for Inter Milan. But he backed off Bernardo Silva. Takes 2-3 touches in the penalty area. Allows him onto his left foot. Allows Bernardo Silva to whip and have a crossing. I think Bernardo Silva should score. And I thought that when I was in Iceland watching the game. Because Champions League finals are notorious over the last 3 or 4 seasons as being very close games which are decided on being clinical. And that was a big moment. That was, in my opinion, the best chance Manchester City had in the first half. And the form that Bernardo Silva has been in, I thought Bernardo Silva should have scored. Gets onto his stronger left foot. I think that should have gone for Manchester City. And I thought DiMarco there, backing off. Had a great game, but 4 minutes in there could have been so costly for Inter Milan as it was. Took Manchester City into the second half to get that one sorted. John, yes, your mum will be absolutely delighted to be able to... So Nana's just taken control of the ball. Yeah, John, your mum would have loved watching Manchester City. She'd have absolutely loved it. She'd have loved watching City be as successful as what we have. She'll have loved watching us win the Champions League. She'll have loved watching us win the treble as well. And DJ Evans, sorry to hear that one as well. And that's just it. These prestigious historic moments for Manchester City. We are, at the end of the day, we're a family club. we have family that support Manchester City, that support each other, and when the family members are no longer there, it's very emotional. I know there's been a few people that have gone to their loved ones' graves to go and tell them all about the Champions League final. And it's very upsetting, but it's also very heartwarming as well. And that's just it, Manchester City. It's a commitment for life, isn't it? Supporting your football team through thick and thin. Manchester City going from what it was then the old Division 3, which is League 1 now, struggling to make promotion. Left it very late against Gillingham to seal promotion just before I started following football and supporting Manchester City, that back in 1999. But I managed to witness Manchester City on their march up, because I think City did back-to-back to the Premier League. And then it'll be in Division 2, sorry, not Division 3. When it was Premier League Division 1, Division 2. Because, I think City did back-to-back and then got relegated back to Division 1. And I started supporting Manchester City on our return back into Division 1. Then we were yo-yoing, and I started supporting City on the second yo-yo back into the Premier League back in 2000 and 2002. Likes of Darren Huckabee, Ali Benarbia, Sean Gota. Good times. And it's crazy. 21 years later, we win the Champions League, we win the treble. Crazy game. Anything can happen. It's why we love football. Nathan, thanks for tuning in. Daniel asks, where do I think Rice will go in the summer? Well, City and ahhing over it, keeping up to date with what's happening. Word is City waiting to see what Gundogan's decision is, but he's on international duty at the moment, and that's going to carry on into the early parts of this week coming up. So I imagine we'll probably get a decision from Ilkay Gundogan, I would hope, in the next 7 days, in the next week or so. So 10 minutes in, so Man City have had that one big chance. But other than that, I mean, Inter did so well. They restricted the space for Manchester City so well. Inter just burst forward. Cross comes into the box, dealt with well. City dealt with the crosses into the box very well, actually, in this game. Very well in this game. And I didn't actually think Inter didn't look like scoring until they brought Lukaku on, really. Lukaku were finding space, were finding opportunities, missed some great opportunities, was getting in the way. But he was causing problems for Manchester City as Inter Milan came forward. But I thought Inter Milan's game plan here, which was obviously the very similar game plan to what Chelsea had in 2021, which is keep it tight, keep it compact, keep it close, and just that clinical word, isn't it? Got to be clinical. And that's what Inter Milan were banking on, and Inter Milan were not clinical, and Manchester City were. And that, to me, is why Manchester City are European champions. That's the only thing. It was the difference against Chelsea. They had their opportunity. They didn't have many against us in 2021. But they put it away when it came, and Man City did not. This is the same game. Few and far between in terms of opportunities. But Manchester City put their opportunity away, and Inter Milan did not. And I'm hoping now that this is going to spearhead Manchester City into what I'm hoping will be a little bit of a European dynasty. We've gone and grabbed our first, so what we want to be pushing on for, because we've got a brilliant squad with a brilliant manager, and we don't know how long we're going to have Pep Guardiola for, that if that is the case, then Manchester City should be looking at, if we've got maybe 2 seasons left of Pep Guardiola, and Pep Guardiola will be staying. I know some thought if he wins the Champions League, he'll leave. He won't. He'll see out his contract. That's Pep Guardiola. That's how he is. I think we should be looking at trying to win at least another Champions League trophy in the next 2 seasons, to me. Inter Milan just limited Man City's midfield so well in this first half. City really struggled. They didn't look comfortable. They didn't look settled. They didn't look good. And it's Inter Milan's press on their midfield was nothing short of outstanding. And then less than a week later after this Champions League final, player that did really well for them, Bastoni, he apparently closing in on a move to Newcastle, £50 million. Strange transfers. Some strange transfers knocking about there at the moment, if you guys are paying attention. Just an hour or two ago, Ruben Neves potentially going to be leaving Wolves for just over £50 million to make a move to Saudi Arabia. Ruben Neves is an outstanding player who holds a lot of European pedigree, who could be playing for a Champions League team, in my opinion, and going to Saudi Arabia instead. John, what are my thoughts on the Ashes so far? What are England? I know they led by 7 runs. What's England's response? Is it still raining? I know it went to lunch and been a rain delay. I'm not sure if they've come back out or not. If not, it's a very close match at the Mo. Very close match. Always pretty close matches at Edgbaston. As Interland's got themselves a corner here. Cross came in. Nathan Ake's there to make the block. It was solid Nathan Ake. Massive call not to go with Kyle Walker. Ake gets the nod. It was always going to be Diaz. It was always going to be Akanji. It was always just going to be a case of, was it going to be Ake or was it going to be Walker? Ake gets the nod and he had a brilliant game, and Kyle Walker's upset about it, as you would be. Manchester City probably don't make the Champions League final without Kyle Walker. And he gets dropped. So harsh on Kyle Walker. Martin, thanks so much for tuning in. Iceland was beautiful. I bought a shirt today from the airport. Got it on. Got a good deal, actually. I think it was £70 for 2. For some reason they had a deal, £70 for 1 or £70 for 2. I was like, I may as well have 2, so if I spill some on it, I've got a spare. But Iceland was class. Iceland was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I could see why it comes highly recommended. Hired the van life, 12 days. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Just do your own thing. Drive around. Live your life. Some days you want to travel and do a little bit more and feel a bit adventurous. There were some days where I'm not feeling today, and just chilled out, took it easy. I managed to see and get everything done all in good time as well. Absolutely sensational. It's a stunning country, lovely people, absolutely brilliant. Learned some new skills as well. So educational. I mean, I love education. JSGC is massive up on education. Absolutely loves it. I genuinely do feel like there's nothing better than learning things, learning new things, and improving your knowledge on things. There is nothing better, in my opinion. And Iceland's just... it's just... Look, it's just... There's so much... Someone summed it up really well in a really basic term. And it just went... Every time you just go around visiting places, every place you come across, even by accident, it's cool. And that's Iceland. Everything there is just there for a reason. It's cool to look at, and it's interesting just to dig a bit deeper and just learn some new things. And the volcanoes, the black beaches, and just learning all about it. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I took my camera out there, and I've got my JSGC vlogs, my one of my other channels, linked in the description if you want to go and check it out. I went with in mind, I wanted to do like daily videos with updates. Been out for 14 days. 14 videos was the plan, and I've ended up coming out with, I think, 16 videos, which tells you the amount of content I've managed to get out there, which is absolutely brilliant. So Martin says he reckons the refresh is in the minority. He thinks new set of players will rejuvenate Pep, keep him longer. To me, it's all about who we bring in. Man City's policy has always been very simple, and it's always been so clear to any player. If a player doesn't want to be at Manchester City, they can leave. And Man City are happy for these players to leave, and Man City will replace these players. They might not get replaced in this window, and there'll be some fans out there who will be very angry and will kick off about it. But the fact is, Man City have a very good core, 14, 15 players, And they're adding some good players. Gvardiol's a class player. Brilliant defender. Provides some very competitive position, some very positive, very competitive challenge for a place in the Manchester City squad. Kovacic as well has the experience. He's won the Champions League with Chelsea. He's good with his distribution. He's good with his tackling. He's a good player. He's a good player. And they're just two. Man City may be out there signing 4 or 5 players. Chicky's going to be in for a very interesting summer. And I suspect Man City will push very hard to try and get the Gvardiol and the Kovacic deals done in the next couple of weeks, I imagine. If the amount of players that are believed to be leaving Manchester City do leave Manchester City, then City will want these players out before pre-season. These players will want to leave so they can have pre-season with a new club. City will want to bring some players in so they can settle in well, the likes of Gvardiol and Kovacic, get them settled in, and then from there, push forward and see who else we end up bringing in. I mean, we're seeing Cole Palmer leave. Apparently Oscar Bobb's going to be his replacement, so someone fresh from the academy, which I'm massive up on. There's some class players in that academy. If they're not going to be loaned out or they're not going to be sold, they should be utilised. There is no benefit for any of these players in the academy who are ready for competitive men's football to be playing. But it sounds harsh, but you're playing against kids. They're not going to learn anything. There's nothing to be learned from these players. So the only way to try and test these players is to chuck them in at the deep end and see if they're good enough. And to me, I think that should be utilised more in City's depth. So Inter Milan just pushing forward here. And just they built up, they pressurised Manchester City. And then just didn't really have that quality in the final third. As I said, it was until Lukaku came on that Manchester City actually faced some problems. They handled Dzeko and Lautaro Martinez so well, Manchester City's defence. Martin asks, Declan Rice confuses him. See him more as a 6 rather than an 8. I see him as a Rodri 2.0. I don't see him as anything else. He is... If we needed a Rodri replacement, Declan Rice is a player I would have a good look at. The price that we're looking at with Declan Rice, the question has to be asked, and I've never seen him do this. He might be able to. I don't know. He might, Man City might make the call and say, are you happy to do what Gundogan can do? Are you happy to sit deep, sit in that deeper role when required, come forward, pop into the space, and push further forward? It could be a case, and I wouldn't rule this one out, that this might be the potential of pushing either Rodri or Stones further forward into midfield. Does seem a little bit negative to have Stones, Rice and Rodri. So, there we go. Not sure. Potentially, our name might just be getting chucked out there to boost up the price for West Ham, get Arsenal to pay a little bit more. I think Arsenal would be the better move for Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice would get more from a move to Arsenal than he would at Manchester City. I'd prefer for Gundogan to stay. I'd prefer for Man City, because the only reason Gundogan's not signed a new contract is he's not happy with the length of it. And I'm amazed that Man City haven't just gone out there and just said, here's a 2-year deal, flat 2-year deal, sign it, we'll cross this bridge again in 2 seasons. So, there we go. Right, we're 40 likes away from 100 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, BetMate. Links and details there in the description and also in the live chat. I mean, Martin, if we lose Gundo, we lose Bernardo. That's a massive midfield overhaul for us. It would explain why we brought Kovacic in to help with a little bit of cover. But who out there in the market? I mean, Gundogan and Bernardo are so good that, to me, no matter who we bring in, it's going to take time for them to settle, aren't going to hit their level that they can hit. And the amount of games that Bernardo and Gundogan have either both in the game or either of them in a game have influenced this season is remarkable. And to let these players leave, to me, is a big call. And missing out on Jude Bellingham is just, that is, yeah. I'd be doing everything I can to keep hold of Bernardo Silva. I'd be doing everything I can to keep hold of Ilkay Gundogan. That's what I would be doing. I can see Kyle Walker leaving. As Martin says, it's very advanced. There's no secret at all that Kyle Walker's in discussion with Bayern Munich. It's not a secret that Kyle Walker is interested in a move to Bayern Munich. And it isn't a secret that Man City are happy to sell Walker to Bayern Munich. Be interesting to see the fee, and it'll also be interesting to see if City choose to replace Walker or not, because to me, if we're reverting back to a back four, we'd need a fullback, because Cancelo will be leaving as well. But if we're permanently going to be sticking with the back three, then to me, we might just be looking at maybe a little bit more cover at right side of centre-back, but Akanji's done a brilliant job there when covering for Manchester City. John Stones can cover there as well. You bring in Gvardiol, and all of a sudden you found a way to fit Josko Gvardiol into the Manchester City team, and would explain why Man City are prepared to pay €100 million to bring him in. So, there we go. Mordecai, thanks very much for tuning in. Is this channel for real? This channel is for real. Because if you've watched JSGC at any point this season, which quite clearly from your comment there, you've never watched me before in your life. Otherwise you'd know. I mean, I've clearly explained why I'm doing this. But, yeah, this is a monumental point in Manchester City's history. JSGC has been very busy. JSGC's been away. I've been, well, this club that I'm got here, where I've been in Iceland, so I've not had a chance to cover this with all of my followers. And to me, covering the whole season for Manchester City to then miss the biggest game of the season is upsetting on my behalf. So we want to have a celebration, we want to have a chat, we want to enjoy ourselves. It's Sunday afternoon. We want to chill out. There's no nerves here. We know what happens. We know that history gets made. And we can analyse, we can have a good look at things about and really break down what went right, what went wrong, what could have happened. Offers a little bit of a different alternative. And gives a nice little bit of closure to the end of the season. Because otherwise, you look at my channel, it looks like Manchester City didn't win the treble. Manchester City didn't have a Champions League final. In actual fact, I've worked hard all season to cover it, so I am. Also, it's my channel, so do as I wish. All the other content creators out there watching will understand exactly where I'm coming from. Will understand fully where I'm coming from when I say that. Martin, thanks very much for the £5 donation, much appreciated. Says, I'm done with Bernardo. Sorry, but he won't shut his mouth. He's talked again. Harsh, but he's showing no respect anymore. Thanks very much for the £5 donation, much appreciated. And in terms of Bernardo Silva, he's not made any secret that he doesn't like living in Manchester. I don't think he's got any problem with Manchester City. I don't think he has any problem with the Manchester City fans. I don't think he has any problem with anybody other than in terms of the weather, the culture, and the difference between Iberia and what it's like here in Manchester. I think he just finds it a little bit unsettling. I think the only reason why he's stayed at Manchester City is he knows that this is the best place to be in terms of his football development. He's been pushing for a move for a couple of years. He's continuing with that objective again. It's no secret that Manchester City are happy to let him leave should they get a good offer in, as Erling Haaland has a shot. Another big opportunity there, 27 minutes in. And speaking before about Bernardo Silva and how I thought he should have scored from that tight angle, Erling Haaland there on his stronger left foot, I think, should be testing Onana more. It's a shot straight at him that he saves with his legs. And I think Erling Haaland, the amount of goals that he scored this season, it's just started to peter off towards the end, I did notice. I think he should be, if he's forcing the save from the keeper, I think he should be forcing a save. I mean, he does well to get the shot away. I just think it should be, he's going for the near post. He's just going for the shot on target there. Test the keeper, ask the question, see what he can do. But it's just straight at the keeper, straight at his arm, straight at his leg. And Onana, in that situation, I don't think could have asked for anything better when you let someone like Haaland into that position. And that's two big opportunities that Man City didn't put away. And at the time of watching this, I was thinking to myself more and more, these are big opportunities that City should be tucking away. We didn't. And had this game gone south, these are the opportunities I'd have been looking at and said, because we created more in this game than what we did against Chelsea. Right, trying to keep up with the chat. Mixit asks, I'll just try and briefly get through. And Martin, thanks for the donation there and everything. I can see this being Bernardo Silva's last game, this game that I'm watching. I can see him leaving. He does open his mouth. He does say things. He's trying to force a move away from Manchester City. So Mixit asks, what do I think of the new Champions League format for the 2024-2025 season? It's a bit confusing, this league, because you're not playing all the teams in the league, so I need more clarification on whether they're seeding these groups or whether it's just going to be a bit of a free-for-all. If you're putting 36 teams in, 18 teams in each group, but you're only playing 9 games, I think, 8 or 9 games, it means you're playing half the teams in there. But it doesn't really make sense if Manchester City, for example, end up playing 4 or 5 games against the likes of Real Madrid, PSG, Juventus, Bayern Munich, and, I don't know, Ajax, when in other parts of the same group you could be playing, and I mean, this is no disrespect to clubs, but you could be playing the likes of Bode, Club Brugge, etc., etc. It doesn't really make sense. So I need more clarification. I think it's good that the Champions League's getting a bit of a shake-up. I'd like to see it fairer. I'd like to see it as qualification only, rather than putting there on prestige. Again, waiting for a bit on that. So Martin asks, I've seen a couple of other people just speaking about the Community Shield and giving my thoughts, and I've kind of sat on the fence. I was never going to be able to go to the Community Shield this season coming up because I'm at a wedding, so I'm up in Scotland, so I'm going to miss the Community Shield anyway, so it doesn't really affect me as to when it is. I just think Sunday is daft. Why is it not on the Saturday? Why is it on the Sunday when it should be on the Saturday? Why is it at 5:30 when it should be, much earlier to give fans as much notice and as much better opportunity for fans to get home at a reasonable time? And why a Sunday? Work day following on the Monday. It's not a bank holiday on the Monday after, I don't think. I just think it's a bit strange, to be honest. I think it's really strange. And I understand the boycotting side of it. Arsenal are travelling 10 miles. Manchester City fans having to do a near 400-mile round trip. Doesn't really seem fair. And I think it's about time. I mean, we faced Liverpool because of was there some other game at Wembley? That's why we didn't face Liverpool last season at Wembley in the Community Shield. Got moved to the King Power Stadium. It was fair on the travel. It's played in the Midlands. Should be played in the Midlands again. There's no reason why the King Power Stadium, although it might be getting used because we're in the Championship, but Villa Park is definitely a viable option. And to me, just creates a real good, unique atmosphere, being able to play at different grounds. Like the FA Cup semi-final, to me, should be played a neutral venue. And Community Shield, I think neutral venue on a Saturday, 3 o'clock, thumbs up, everyone's support. So I can understand Man City's fans' point of view and wanting to boycott it. There'll be some fans out there who want to go and watch the Community Shield. There'll be some fans out there who will want to go down to London, enjoy themselves for the weekend, watch the game and have a bit of time off. It's nice weather, and I fully get that. But to me, it showed absolutely no consideration for the match-going, travelling fans. So, there we go. Just trying to keep up with the chat. Martin, I do agree. It is boring hearing Bernardo. We know he wants to leave. Doesn't need to be reiterated. I think it's just, again, agent tactics. He's got George Mendes as his agent, just trying to force a move, and that's how he tries to force a move, if I'm honest. I'll try not to burst into tears. My celebration at the end, I was more relieved. It took a little bit of time for it to really settle in about what Man City had achieved. And I think that's just because throughout the approaches of the games, we've just been taking it game after game after game. This is what you want to achieve. That, to me, the emotions kicked in much later after full time, when I actually had a chance to absorb what Manchester City had managed to achieve. And going to bed that night was a very good night's sleep. Sitting on top of the world, no better feeling in the world. It'd be really interesting now to see what Man City's approach is to the Champions League. I know Pep Guardiola's asked the fans to stop booing the anthem and try and enjoy the competition for what it is. I know the City fans aren't too keen on UEFA. They certainly won't be too keen on those that have travelled out to Turkey and the fiasco that's happened. So it'll be really interesting, really interesting. Thank you very much, DJ, for your kind comment there. Much appreciated. City season ticket waiting. We don't even have a waiting list. I presume that 120,000 is just members who they are promised when you become a member to be put onto a list where you'll have the opportunity to potentially become a season ticket holder. If there's 120,000 people on that, obviously 120,000 people aren't going to want to be season ticket holders. I'm a member, and I'm going to renew my membership. I'm not going to become a season ticket holder next season because I'm not in a financial position to be able to do so. And there'll be a lot of people like me who aren't in that position. So there's not 120,000 people that want to be season ticket holders, but there will be a lot. That number will have gone up. It'll be very interesting to know what the number of members was before that Real Madrid home game and afterwards. I'd like to know that. That'd be very interesting. Yeah, mixed it. That it's a silly system. So first big talking point, Kevin De Bruyne, and I felt so upset for Kevin when he had to go off. He's not only pulled his hamstring, he's torn his hamstring. He's snapped it, hasn't he? He's snapped his hamstring. He's a doubt for the start of the season. That's how serious that injury is that Kevin De Bruyne has had. And he must have been playing through pain. He must have been having pain-killing injections in the build-up to this, because you don't just snap a hamstring without feeling any kind of hamstring injury. And unfortunately, it's just given way. 36th minute in this game between Manchester City and Inter Milan. I felt so sorry for him. He'll feel much better winning the Champions League, of course, and he'll make it his ambition, I'm sure, to get to another Champions League final, to see it out and get an assist or grab a goal and really help the team. But second time with 2 Champions League finals, desperately unlucky from Kevin De Bruyne. His eye socket with Antonio Rudiger in the first, snapped his hamstring in the second. But it's a team effort, and Phil Foden comes on, and Phil Foden, to me, had an outstanding game when he came on, and to me, has kind of solidified himself more as a midfielder. That might well be Man City's Bernardo Silva replacement, that right there. Phil Foden, ready-made. Don't worry about it, Martin. I like all these comments, like all this interaction. JSGC's trying to keep up. Problem is, JSGC just waffles on. So he loses track of where he's at. Thank you so much, Martin. Martin, I am very jealous you having that break. Very jealous. Enjoy the break. Really do enjoy yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in. Much appreciated. Thanks for the donation as well. And Martin, we'll speak soon. We'll get on before the start of the season. I'm sure we'll be able to talk about. There'll be lots to talk about, I'm sure. I think this first half has really demonstrated just how well Inter Milan did. To be able to contain Manchester City for a prolonged period of time. Not many teams can do it. Teams have managed to do it, but it was happening towards the end of the season when Man City were making changes to their team. The actual full-strength City team that went out here against Inter Milan. Inter did a very good job, I thought. A very, very good job. Had they been clinical, this could have been a lot different. Nadir, thanks for tuning in. Asks, who do I think we will sign this summer? I think Gvardiol and Kovacic, done and dusted. I think them two players will become Manchester City players. I think that means the end of Kyle Walker. I can maybe see Gundogan maybe leaving as well. I think City will go for a winger. I think we might see four first teamers leaving. I think City will replace 3 of them. And I think Manchester City will keep an eye out for maybe a 4th and and about how their finances are. It all depends on who leaves and how much money we make, really, doesn't it, at the end of the day? All this talk of Gvardiol, but we need a Walker or a Laporte to leave. I wouldn't rule out Laporte maybe staying. FPL, have I ordered the new top? I presume you're on about the new treble top, which looks like a thing of beauty. No, it's very expensive. Very, very expensive. JSGC has enough tops. It is a thing of beauty. I really like the Chinese New Year top that we had. That was a limited edition top as well. But no, I won't be ordering it. But it does look very good. I just don't have a spare £90. Iceland's not very cheap, everybody. I've added an Iceland shirt to my collection instead. Nadir says, that's interesting about Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish has shown he's got the characteristics of being a brilliant Manchester City player. Defensively helps the team out. He's sound as a pound. We know he's a great guy. We know he's very lively in the dressing room. We know he's a lively person overall. You are exactly right with that. What Jack Grealish now needs to do is push his level on to the next level. And that next level is contributing more up top for Manchester City, grabbing them assists, grabbing them goals, and Manchester City then prospering on that left-hand side. And I think Jack Grealish will. I just think over time, I just think naturally it'll come to his game. When there's not as much creativity out there, I think Jack Grealish will take the risks. I think he'll look to try and score them goals. He'll try and get them assists. He's happy just to prosper with all the world-class players around him. I think give him another season or two, and I think Jack Grealish will go out there and he'll be getting 10-plus goals every season in the Premier League. We're getting 10-plus assists every season. DJ, we might just... I imagine that might be it. That's how Man City think. They'll be looking at it and saying, we've done the treble, now let's go and do something no one's ever done. I think Liverpool were they 2 games away from doing the quad. No one's ever done the quad. Southampton away, of all teams, relegated to the Championship, stopped Manchester City in the tracks of winning the quad. Something to aim for. Something to aim for. City's New Arndale store, it's got the trophies on display, if I'm not mistaken, all 3. I'm hoping at some point Man City will have the Champions League trophy on display, because when we first won the Premier League, I think it was in the Football Museum, I was able to pick up the Premier League, which was brilliant, great experience. I'd pay a lot of money to be able to do that. I'd pay a lot of money to pick up the Champions League trophy hold it and have a picture with it. So I'm hoping they'll do that. Be nice to go and see it with the blue ribbons on. I imagine it'll be on the club tour at the stadium, which I've noted they've moved that as well as the starting work. I presume very soon on the new development on the North Stand, because they're moving the club shop, or they've already moved it, and they've moved where they get the stadium tours from, which is normally in the club shop where the North Stand is. So I think that's all coming out and getting removed, as they've delayed the arena, the co-op arena that's getting built. That was meant to be having its first acts on in December. Nothing's still been announced, and they've now said that that's been delayed for its opening until April of 2024. Anyway, guys, we're now 31 likes away from 100 likes. So any help towards that would be much appreciated. Subscribe as well if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, which you can go and check out in the description and also in the live chat. It's brought to you by BetMates. That would be much appreciated. So a 3-kick here for Manchester City, which Phil Foden's going to take. 43 minutes in, and it's been 43 minutes of hard work for Manchester City. Very pensive game. Very pensive game. I'd like to know everyone's thoughts on the referee's performance, because I've heard some saying it was a brilliant performance and others saying it was a poor performance. I'm 44 minutes in and I've yet to comment on the referee, which tells me one thing. And we do have the Nations League. I'm hoping Rodri, he's just won us the Champions League, can go and win the Nations League as well. So I'm hoping Spain will do it. I also don't hold any feelings towards Croatia after knocking us out in 2018 in the World Cup semi-final. So, there we go. Come on, Spain. Viva España! So, 1 minute away from going into added time. Not really a classic, this game. I was sitting to myself thinking, if I'm going to be doing a live watch along after this, firstly, I want a Manchester City victory, so people have some interest. I don't think anyone would have any interest in watching Manchester City lose, unless you're a person that doesn't like Manchester City, of course, which wouldn't make it, from my point of view, being a City fan, a very enjoyable live watch along. But I was also thinking to myself, I was hoping this would be a bit of a classic. A little bit like what you had last time at the Ataturk Stadium in 2005. Liverpool 3-0 down, make a comeback, win it on penalties. Drama like never seen before. As it is, I think the last 4 Champions League finals now have ended 1-0. Which I think summarises best the direction the Champions League finals are going in, which is there's just so much at stake and so much going on that teams just aren't prepared to risk losing a game to try and win heavily, and this is definitely the case, I think, for this game for Manchester City and for Inter Milan as well, as we're into the first of 2 minutes added on. I didn't watch England against Malta. I'll be honest, I don't really have too much interest in international football unless it's a major tournament. Don't mind watching the major tournaments, but the other international games, for me, no. Because I know England are playing tomorrow at Old Trafford, and I ummed and ahed, because tickets were, I think, quite affordable. I think they're like £30, £35. Could have got a ticket, but at one point I think I would have. But I'm not in particular a fan of Gareth Southgate's style of football. As a shot comes in from Akanji just before half-time, as Man City's owner is in attendance for this game as well. He's 2-2, so City need a good luck charm. Gets Sheikh Mansour there. 2 from 2. But yeah, I've got no interest in international football. Certainly not what I used to have. I think the style of football is a little bit boring. I can put up with it for an international tournament, in particular while England's doing well. But eventually, I think Gareth Southgate's ready. I'm hoping we'll be able to win an international tournament. Losing to Italy in the final of the Euro 2020 was heartbreaking, coming so close to making history happen. And if it doesn't happen, eventually we'll end up having a disappointing tournament. I can see Gareth Southgate being put on his bike. There's so many managers out there, modern day managers, who to me are far better, who would maybe even win something for England. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Southgate's done a good job for England, but the crop of players that we've got and the decline of some of the other top European teams and top worldwide teams as well, I think Manchester City, I think England are in a position where they can start asserting themselves a little bit more on the international stage. And they just keep things so narrow and boring. It's like watching a poor man's version of Man City. And I've said that before on my live watch-alongs of England. Watching England and watching Man City, it's just painful. The standard City hit's so far superior to what England hit. It's painful. It's painful to watch. Rightio, guys. Half-time. Manchester City missed 2 big opportunities. Haaland went close with a good save from Onana, but a standard save that you'd expect him to make, but a save that needed to be made nonetheless. Inter Milan have made life very difficult for Manchester City so far, and following on from that, Man City missed, in my opinion, the biggest opportunity of them all came around 4 minutes in. Bernardo Silva, DeMarco just backing off, shows Bernardo onto his left foot. I think he should have found the back of the net. He didn't. And so at the time I was thinking, right, okay, plenty to think about, plenty to ponder here for Manchester City. And De Bruyne going off as well was a bit of a disastrous first half. The only thing that we had going for us was it was still 0-0. We hadn't conceded and we're still well in it. And we've done something we didn't do against Chelsea. We conceded in the first half. We've kept this tight. We've kept it compact. And we're ready to push on in the second half, which I'm very thankful to say is exactly what Manchester City managed to do. So I am going to put on some halftime entertainment, the final halftime entertainment of the season for you guys to enjoy. And it's brought to you by my partner channel, Mixid. His link's in the description if you want to go and check him out. Go and like and subscribe. This is Mixid bringing you a very nice, very luscious mojito. Enjoy.
What's going on, guys? Mixid here. Welcome to the Mixid channel where we do cocktails. So to start off my summer cocktail series, I'm going to start with the classic mojito, which is the product of Cuba. It's the national cocktail of Cuba and it's a really simple one to make, but it never disappoints. Because it's a rum-based special cocktail, and I can't wait to show you this. So the first thing we want to do is get your tin and put in your simple syrup and your mint sprigs as well. So put in about 3 to 4 leaves and muddle it up. Or 2 ounces of white rum. But what I like to do, I like my mojito to be a little bit more boozy, especially when I've had it on a holiday, especially with Spanish variation. So I'm going to put in a little bit extra. So I'm going to go for about 70ml, so 2.3 ounce. That is a mixed speciality. So before we shake it, what we're going to do now is build up the highball glass. So we're going to fill it up with ice mixed in with mint leaves. Again, this is optional. It's just something I like to do. I like to decorate the glass. just to achieve that bit more of aroma, especially with the mint. Slap it to release that nice freshness that it has, the mint leaves. So I think you just can't beat it, truthfully. So we'll just prune and make it look a little bit better. So, fun fact for the Mixed channel, this is the first ever cocktail I've ever had. It's what got me into the mixology side of it when I had it in 2015. So it made me really appreciate the cocktail scene. Beat it, especially for a summer cocktail, the mojito. It's been the mojitos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Mix It for more summer cocktails like this, as I will see you guys on Bank Holiday Monday, as I will be doing another summer cocktail. Salute.
Thank you very much there to Mixed for providing the final half-time entertainment of the season. So we're just going to get up the second half and we will do the live watch-along of that for you guys to look forward to. It means we can cut out all the boring bits and adverts and analysis and everything and just go straight on it with the second half, which is good to see. So we'll just get that prepped and ready for you guys. Sorry if it's been a bit laggy or buffering or anything. Everything showing on my end has been pretty poor at the moment. So I'm just waiting for everything just to kick back into gear. So sorry for that one, ladies and gentlemen. Do apologise. And we do have the referee ready for the second half here, as Man City get us underway. think everything's kicked back into gear and all good to go. So hopefully all smooth. Everyone can hear me, see me, which would be good. Kaushik, thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Much love from India. And hoping to study in Manchester. University of Manchester, is that what you're aiming for? Fun fact, JSGC was offered a place for business at Manchester University, which JSGC turned down. Said no. Should JSGC have said no? Who knows? I might not have been here speaking to you guys if I'd said yes. Who knows? We do have a Rodri goal. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I'm going to struggle to be able to recreate how I felt at that moment, as we've just a few moments ago had a loud clap of thunder. We've had some rain coming down as well. There's Johnny Stones then. He had a good game for City, I thought, in the Champions League final. I thought him, Rodri, Ake, Diaz, Akanji, Walker when he came on, all had good games for Manchester City, I thought. So don't forget, leave a thumbs up. Just a very loud clap of thunder. I don't know if my microphone picked that one up then. So don't forget, subscribe if you are new around here. Leave a thumbs up. Just 29 likes to go. Let's make it a 100 like live stream. Another loud clap of thunder. I should probably close my window, to be fair, because I don't know if it's lightning. Give me a second. Last thing I want is lightning coming in to my room. I laugh. It's not funny. So give me a second. It's just going to knock things over because of where my thing's located. So we can all look at my bonsai for a minute. Hopefully you can all hear me, see me now. Seems to have unplugged itself then, I don't know why. Good old lightning and thunder. Ah, nice. I needed that. Right, guys, 28 likes to go to 100. Any help towards that would be much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here, and do go and check out BetMate, today's video sponsor. Bernardo Silva just tries to square it across and nothing giving. Oh, what a... I say, what a question there. Ben Stokes is an all-rounder and Virat Kohli is a batter, isn't he? So it depends what you're looking for in a cricket player, really. What an all-rounder. Is there anyone better than Ben Stokes? Brilliant bowler, contributes really well with the bat. Virat Kohli is obviously an exceptional batsman. So it depends what you're looking for. I think on the England pitches that we've got over here at the moment, I think I'd go with Ben Stokes. Get us on the subcontinent though, and I think Virat Kohli dominates. So, will we take the urn back home? Have they got playback at Edgbaston yet? Let's have a look. Very close opening test match between England and Australia. Usman Khawaja. Yeah, England 28 for 2, not the best of starts. Interesting one. Interesting one. Right, guys, I am going to, because I am absolutely roasting here. Been away, so my house has had 2 weeks of heat. So my house is extremely hot. It's not even that hot in the UK. It's been very hot over the last week or so while I've been away, but right now it's like 22, 23. It's nothing outrageous. But my house is, because we've not been in, it's just been outrageously warm. Currently sitting at 20, I think 27 degrees at the moment, so I'm very hot. So I'm going to take the clock off. So take the clock off. There we go. And what I'm going to do, I know what happens. I watched the game. So just going to reel it on. And we'll get to the moments that we're looking for. So we'll start first here. So I've resumed the game again from the 67th minute. And this might just be, it's certainly right up there with Aguero. The big question is it the biggest moment in Manchester City's history ever? Is the big question. Kaushik, you have hot summers and hot days. We don't have hot summers and hot days. It's 27 over here. It's horrible. We have houses installed ready to keep, because 8 months of the year the temperature doesn't really exceed plus 12 degrees. Spend some of the winters where it hits 4, 5 degrees as your daytime temperatures. Overnight can have known overnight temperatures hit as low as -10. So Bernardo Silva comes in. City want the handball. Rodri with the goal for Manchester City. The moment for Manchester City. The moment for Manchester City. The moment. What we all want to know is City were appealing for handball. Was it handball? Who cares? Next phase of play. Rodri. 16 yards out, bends it round the defender. Onana, no chance in hell. 1-0 Manchester City lead. Rodri just doing what he's been doing all season. All season. Right place at the right time. Perfectly just bends it round 2 defenders into the bottom corner. And interestingly, the commentator just said there, it's Rodri's second goal in the Champions League for Manchester City. His first came with the Rodri rocket against Bayern Munich in the quarter-final. Helped Manchester City knock out Bayern Munich. Helped Manchester City knock out Real Madrid, and then helps Manchester City to win the Champions League. Godry indeed. Right, as I said, I'm absolutely roasting here, so I'm just going to reel this one on to the big moments. Where's Lukaku's miss? That's what we want. Where's Lukaku's miss? We had a rip shirt from Stones. He came off and Kyle Walker came on. Where's the miss? Where is it? Lukaku in the book. He's had a disaster class. Is that what we want to call it? We'll call it a disaster class. Why not? Right, where's this Lukaku? Because it's funny. It is funny. Ball just getting knocked around. I'm sorry, I'm just reeling it on. Right, I think it's here. It's here. Ederson got my man of the match because he was brilliant. Right, 87 minutes. I'll play it from here. We'll play it out from 87 minutes. So, Inter are attacking left-hand side. Manchester City backs against the wall. Cross comes in. It's a deep one. Too deep. Picked up, though, on the right-hand side. Another chance for Inter to put a ball into the box. It comes in. It's deep. Headed back across. Lukaku! Oh, what a save from Ederson. And that was outstanding defending from Ruben Dias. It looks even better. You see all the replays. You see it get slowed down in real time. That is outstanding. Ederson stands tall. It looks like it looks like he just stands there and it hits him. But it's all about position. It's all about expectation. Ederson expects Lukaku to win that header. He makes his frame big enough that he's in a position that if the header comes in, if it's at him, he makes the save, which is exactly what happens. Either side of the keeper, it's in. It's a sitter from Lukaku, but it's a brilliant save from Ederson. And can we all talk about the massive, massive quick instincts of Ruben Dias to adjust himself and head that past the post and out for a corner to Inter. Outstanding defending, outstanding goalkeeping, and I'm hoping that all this criticism that Ederson gets, it stops. To me, he is the man of the match for this game. Man City win the Champions League because Ederson keeps a clean sheet. Ederson deserved his clean sheet. He made the saves to get the clean sheets. Inter had more shots than us. They had more shots. Korshik, so we will be playing Sevilla in the European Super Cup. It comes sometime in August, I think, and the game's going to be played in Greece. JSGC, unless the summer transfer windows go very well for me. The daily update starting from tomorrow, and JSGC is financially in a good position to be going to Greece. I highly doubt I'll be there, but I'll definitely be doing a live watch-along because we've never been in a European Super Cup. That's something to look forward to. City have the potential here to win the Community Shield, to win the European Super Cup, to win the Club World Cup, and win the League Cup. Means that at that point, we will hold every trophy possible. No team has ever done that. No team. That Ederson saving Diaz clearance had the Inter fans in tears, literally crying in the stands. Perfect from Manchester City. So we're into added time. 5 minutes for Man City to make history. What will happen? What will happen? They are the questions. Don't forget, 25 likes away from 100 likes. Let's get them 100 likes. We've got 5 minutes to go, the live watch along. 5 minutes, 25 likes. Let's make it happen. Leave a thumbs up. That'd be much appreciated. Subscribe if you're new around here. And do go and check out today's video sponsor, BetMate. Links and details, they are in the description. Manchester City 4 minutes away then from history. So Onana and Haaland into the box. City time-wasting tactics. But it edges City closer to that prestigious treble, to that Champions League trophy, to win the big ears for the first time ever. Make no mistake about what that means for the club, for the players, for the staff, and most importantly, for the fans. Manchester City fans have gone from watching League One football In the space of 24 years watching League One football to watching their club win the treble and win the Champions League. Football is a roller coaster. Never give up. Always believe. Confidence. Perseverance. Goes a long way in football. Free kick comes in from Inter. And then glance shot goes wide. Barella it was with the shot. It was a good ball in from DiMarco. It's well defended out to City. Falls to the edge of the penalty area. Barella just... He gets it wrong. Hits the outside of his foot. Ederson's into the book now. Time wasting. Got to time waste. 2 minutes then. 2 minutes for Manchester City to make history. 2 more minutes. Ederson slips, sends the ball forward. And at the time in Iceland, I was pleading Man City, get hold of that ball. Get to the corner flag. Time waste. Some Haaland shithousery. Something. Do something. We were creating our own pressure. And Inter were always going to get that opportunity. And Man City were just so desperate to get over the line. Ball lunged forward. Ederson, man of the match. Collects the ball. Ederson, he likes to punch, comes in, stands tall over Lukaku, just catches that ball. Put some respect on Ederson's name. 1 minute away from glory. Inter got the possession again. I was getting so frustrated. I was in a bar restaurant in Húsavík in Iceland watching this at the time. The City fans are ready to go wild. The players are ready to go wild. We did a bit of time wasting, so the clock ticks over past 5. Last opportunity, Inter. Onana just sends it long. Header won by Manchester City. But it goes out for a throw-in. We just couldn't keep hold of possession. Very un-Manchester City. But we're not far away. Launched forward from Inter. Header flicked on. Headed clear by Manchester City. Loose ball picked up by Inter. We're in added time on added time now. Work to the right-hand side. This is it. Inter. Cross is coming. The cross is coming. And out for a corner. Come on, referee. We're over time. He's going to bloody well allow time for this corner. Come on, defenders. Come on, Eddie. I know what happens and I'm nervous. Imagine if this was an alternative and him to find the equaliser. Inflatable bananas are ready to go crazy for City. Onana's forward. Corner. This is it. Comes in. Header one. Ederson. What a save. What a save. It's a poor touch. Full time. There it is. That is the moment Manchester City win the treble. That is the moment Manchester City win the European Cup and lift the big ears. What an achievement. As I said, it needs to be celebrated. More needs to be made of this. We had a thunderstorm in Manchester to go and do the celebrations with the parade. So the parade got brought short. It didn't do justice to what Manchester City have achieved. This wasn't a good game of football. This wasn't a Champions League classic. But it holds a special heart in the blue hearts of Manchester City. It got us over the line. I remember back in 2021 watching the Champions League final, watching Chelsea get their winners' medals and lift the trophy. And that feeling's never left. It hurt. Back in 2021, I thought that was the moment for Manchester City. I truly believe still we were better than Chelsea. First Champions League final, we didn't learn the lessons, we got punished for it. 2 years later, we put ourselves in that position again. And to me, lessons learned. I want to mention something I mentioned right at the beginning of this stream. I mentioned it on purpose because I want to come back to it. I said, when Manchester City dropped points against Nottingham Forest back in February of this year, that Manchester City did not know how to 1-0 a game. Manchester City didn't know how to see out a game. And whilst that was the case, Manchester City won't have much success this season. They were my words. In the space of 4 months, Manchester City have turned everything around. And the name Manchester City gets engraved onto the Champions League trophy forever. People speak about charges. People speak about tainted trophies. People speak about this. They speak about that. You can't take away people's feelings. You can't take away what people have seen. And it was special for Manchester City. This season has been phenomenal. We won the Premier League. We won the FA Cup. We've won the Champions League. And as I said, I think more needs to be made of it, because we might be the second team ever to have done it, but it takes something remarkable, it takes something special to be able to do it. And it might not get repeated now for another 24 years. To put that into context, JSGC's in his 50s the next time that could happen. And this is something I've not seen mentioned too much, but Manchester City have not only won the treble, they've won the Champions League for the first time ever, and were unbeaten in the Champions League this season. And to me, the Champions League is the trophy. It's the trophy that the club wanted more than any other. To win it, to win the Premier League, to win the FA Cup on top of it as well, is the stuff that dreams are made of. We've got a massive summer coming up. High expectations, lots of love. This Champions League final will be some players' last ever game for Manchester City. The last time we ever see them in the sky blue of Manchester City. They leave high. They leave on the highest of the high. Inter Milan's had a tremendous run in the Champions League. They've had a cracking season. They played some outstanding stuff. They gave Man City a real challenge in this game. So massive commiserations to them. They were very sporting about it, and I have a lot of respect for Inter Milan. The night belongs to Manchester City. And that, guys, is me keeping you guys up to date. I said I'll do a review video, so I will do a review video for you guys to enjoy. And we will start our daily Manchester City transfer updates from tomorrow for you guys to look forward to. I've been doing them on my YouTube Shorts for the last week or so. We will continue that on YouTube Shorts. We will, I'm hoping, do live stream transfer stuff for you guys to enjoy at least once a week, I'm hoping. So we've got loads of great content coming for you guys to look forward to. So thank you so much for the support this season. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed. Thank you to everybody that's interacted with me and made these live watch-alongs special and made them really enjoyable. So thank you so much for that, guys. Much appreciated. Thank you to everybody that's left a thumbs up. We're 23 likes. I see no reason in the post-production of this. I mean, let's get them likes, so let's get into the 80s. I see no reason for this post-production why we can't hit 100 likes again for our final live watch-along of the season. And you have my word. JSGC will be back for Manchester City. We make history this season. What history can we make next season? And I'll be following Manchester City every single step of the way, no matter what. So I'll see you guys again for my live watch-alongs next season from August for you guys to look forward to. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Final note, I would say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, BetMate. As I said, they've got some pots running for the international games. Go and check them out, and they'll have lots of stuff coming up, I'm sure, over the summer. And, of course, heading into the start of the season towards the end of July and into August. So I will see you guys. Julia, thanks so much for tuning in, and thank you for your kind comment there. We've got loads of content to look forward to. So I've been JSGC. Thank you so much for watching. I've got one thing left to watch on here now, and that is watch Manchester City make their history and lift the Champions League trophy. Ilkay Gundogan, the captain for Manchester City. I saw some fans saying Vincent Kompany, they wanted him to do it. And it's sad that he weren't able to do it, that we've not got the likes of Yaya Toure, David Silva, Sergio Aguero to come here and just enjoy themselves as best that they can and have these legendary players enjoy what they deem to be success. But to me, Ilkay Gundogan, it might be his last thing he ever does for Manchester City. And here he is walking over to them, ready to lift the Champions League trophy. The Champions League trophy, everybody. And there it is. And to me, if Gundogan does leave, the last thing he ever does is lift the Champions League trophy. Is there a better way to leave? We'll see. As I said, we'll see if it's his last game. We've got all the transfer content for you guys to look forward to. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get to 100 likes in the post-production. See you all for the start of the season in August. And tomorrow, transfer updates. Daily summer transfer updates. We love it. I've been JSGC. Thanks so much for watching. Peace. Ciao for now.